Hey, welcome to the channel. It's Jack with Stronghold Strength and Conditioning. And today, I've got some quick shoulder mobility work that you can use to improve your overhead pressing or just simply lifting things up overhead around the house like your kids. But before we get into it, make sure you take a moment and hit that subscribe button so that you don't miss out on future content like this. Every Thursday, I'm putting out videos helping you resolve aches and pains, prevent injuries, and overall optimize your performance inside the gym and outside of it in your daily life and routine. And it doesn't get much better than that. So go ahead and take advantage of it. Ready? Let's go ahead and dive into this one. All right, like I said, today's session is going to be some quick shoulder mobility work to help you improve your overhead positioning. So this will help if you're doing snatch work. This will help if you're doing strict press work. This will help if you're picking your kids up and putting them up above your head there. Any work that you're doing in the overhead position, this is gonna open that up for you. And I do recommend that you do it right before one of those sessions so that you can reap the benefits immediately from the work that you're doing here. Now, in order to do this, we're gonna look at your thoracic extension here to make sure that we have full access to that in the first place. And we're gonna do that with a foam roller and a weighted object. So you will need that for the thoracic work. We're gonna look at your external rotation of your shoulder as well as the flexion in the full overhead position. And this is going to be done with a dowel, so we'll need a dowel for that. And then lastly, we're going to look at your scapular stability and do that by using a resistance band to cue that musculature and get it engaged prior to working in the overhead position. So those are the things you'll need for today's work. But before we get into it, if you are a dad who wants to improve his mobility in the next 90 days to move with the ease and energy of his kids, what I need you to do is pause this video right now, step down below in the description there, and fill out the coaching application. Today is the final day of September and the last day that you can get 3 months of coaching free when you purchase 3 months of coaching. So buy 3, get 3 free. And if you want to take advantage of that, all you need to do is fill out that coaching application down below, and I will get in contact with you today so that we can get you headed in the right direction with that. So pause this, go ahead and fill that out, and then we'll get back into it. Ready? Let's go into the mobilities here. Diving right in, we're gonna take your weight and your foam roller here, and the first thing we're gonna do is work our thoracic extension. So I'm just gonna do a pressure wave while I have that weight sitting on my sternum. Now it's important that you have, a significant weight that actually challenges you a little bit here. So make sure that you do feel that weight compressing you between the foam roller. And you'll see that I'm testing different ranges of the thoracic spine, trying to arch back over. When I arch back over, I do want to focus on keeping my abdomen tight so that the arch does not come from my lumbar spine. The second position we're going to do here is actually a loaded overhead. So I love the kettlebell for this because it gives me a little extra height from the floor. Of course, you could also stand up a dumbbell or use a plate if you need. But our goal is ultimately to get our hands at the base of that weight when we're in a fully extended position here. So I have tight quads, tight glutes. I'm holding a strong vertical position, and you can see how this would transfer directly into the pressing that I might be doing or any other overhead work. We want to organize the spinal column and keep it strict in this reach overhead. Next, we're still going to be working some thoracic mobility here, but really looking again at flexion of the shoulder and external rotation. So we're placing the elbows narrow compared to the wrist. We want the elbows inside to the wrist as you hold the dowel. So I'm thinking of reaching my knuckles toward my scapula here. I also want to keep my abdomen tight once again to avoid compensating from the lumbar spine. So really what I'm trying to do is feel my scapula slide down my upper back toward my mid back without arching my lumbar spine. So my upper back might have some arch here. And we're trying to get our head in line with the arms here so that my upper arm is in line with my ears. Once we have that positioning, we're going to settle in there and really see what we can feel as far as engagement and range of motion being restored from the scapula on the upper back. You'll also feel that external rotation from the elbows being inside the wrists as you hold that dowel at the base of the armpit. So this should really force it into the triceps and the underside of the arm running into the scapula there. For both of the mobilities that I've shown so far, I recommend building up to 2 minutes of each position here. And then on our last thing, we're gonna work a little bit of scapular stability. So I'm using one band looped through another to create almost a cable effect here. But I really enjoy pressing overhead to full extension and then squeezing the scapula down and back here. Trying again to keep the wrist almost behind the elbow as much as possible, or in line with the elbow as much as possible when I'm performing this press. So we don't want the band to pull those wrists forward as much as we can resist that pull from the band. This should light up the musculature of your upper back quite a bit, but we also want to focus on the abs staying engaged as well as the glutes in this standing position. If you have a hard time doing it standing, you can also go down to half kneeling, and that's a little bit easier to manage the core structure from there. But keep focused on maintaining good core structure as you perform this banded press. All right, and there you have it. A quick shoulder mobility routine that you can do prior to any overhead work, any type of session like that you're gonna be doing. And this, again, should show you immediate results in your overhead positioning when you are working. So if it's something that's very limited where you can't straighten your arms up overhead, take your time with it. Make sure that we are working to your full potential here and opening up that range. Thoracic, shoulder flexion and external rotation, and then stability. Those are the 3 key pieces to have in place. If you like this video, make sure you let me know by clicking that big thumbs up down below. Take a moment to share this one with a friend who's a little bit stiff in the overhead as well, and make sure that they're not going to injure themselves. And last but not least, if you have not already, make sure you take a moment to hit that subscribe button so that you don't miss out on future content like this. Every Thursday, I'm putting out videos showing you how to resolve aches and pains, prevent injuries, and overall optimize your performance inside the gym and outside of it in your daily life and routine. Welcome to the Stronghold Army. Catch you guys next week.